from the ground up, where football lives and breathes. Join us as we explore the heart of the game. This is Grassroots Gazette, from the ground up.
For grassroots footballers that allows players to track their performance, improve their game and compete with others in the community.
Galacticos app. Download today. Please check out galacticos.com for more developments. Don't forget to network with us. Help us grow.
Today we are delighted to engage in a discussion with Sean, a remarkable individual who wears multiple hats within the football community. As a director of women's football, a reserve team manager and first team coach, Sean brings her expertise, passion, leadership to every aspect of the game. Join us as we explore her journey, her obstacles she's navigated, and the success that she's achieved in her multifaceted roles within football. Welcome, Sean.
Hello.
Well, hello. Welcome.
What an intro.
Thank you. I try. All right, so we're going to get straight into the first block, which is personal questions. So first question is, what is your full name, nickname, and any socials you like to share with us?
Full name is Sean Marie FITZPATRICK. Everybody knows me as Sean.
Cool.
And socials, I have only got Instagram, which is Sean Marie 93, and Twitter, which is Sean's Room.
Lovely. Excellent. Okay. How old are you and where are you from?
I'm 30 and born and bred Croydon.
Born and bred Croydon, South
Yep.
London.
South London.
All right. Third question is, who do you currently coach or play for, and where are they based?
Okay, so at the moment, I'm at Dulwich Hamlet Reserves Women's.
Okay.
I'm manager there. I am first team coach at Tower Hamlets Men's, and then director of women's football at AFC Croydon.
Yeah.
So Tower Hamlets is East London, Dulwich is Dulwich, and Croydon is Croydon, basically.
Cool. All right, next question. Don't worry, we'll be getting into all of those different hats that you wear. We're going to get into those soon. All right. Who or what motivated you to start playing football and then get into coaching?
Okay, so playing. Yeah, sorry, I didn't answer the playing question because I'm not playing anymore. But
yeah.
Playing was actually my dad, basically. So like when I was younger, like young, like primary school age, my mum and dad are both like sport people, basically. So my mum was into netball, my dad was into football. Cool. So on a Saturday, my dad used to take me. He used to like manage like a vets team or something. I don't even remember now. It was too long ago. But he used to manage and play for like this vets team. So he used to take me every Saturday. I suppose probably because kids got to go somewhere, right? So he would just come. I would just go with him, basically. So I was always on the sideline, like doing kick ups and like passing with the subs or whatever. And that's how I kind of got into it, just like being on the side, kicking a ball, like I said, doing kick ups and stuff. And then eventually, I think people was like nudging my dad, like, I think your daughter's actually all right at this.
Cool.
Yeah, like she's actually decent. Yeah. So then it got to the point where I think I got to like year 7 or year 6 maybe that summer. And then my dad was like, okay, like, do you want to like get into a club? So I was like, yeah, okay, cool. So I like, and obviously things were different back then. So I think we just found like an ad in a local newspaper.
Okay, yeah.
And then I just went and trialed for like Croydon Borough at the time. And that was like the start of my playing journey. Coaching was not on the cards. Like that was not something I ever wanted to do. I never cared about coaching. It wasn't even something I even considered. And I don't think I ever met a female coach. So right. That wasn't even an option. Like I didn't even something that entered my mind. So I didn't really start coaching until I was about 25, 26. So I kind of got into it quite late, and that was just because my friend was being observed on his B license. Mm-hmm. And he asked me to come down and like support his like observations. I was like, yeah, all right, cool. So I went down and then met this guy called Anthony Ferguson, and he invited us out on this day at St. George's Park where there was all of these coaches. And it was that day that I was like, maybe I should give this coaching stuff a go because this looks all right.
Yeah, see, got to be around it
you got to be around it.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
Yeah, that's how I got into it, basically.
All right, cool. And you said, because I've got a question here of how long have you been coaching? So it's been Is it 4 years now? 5 years?
Yeah, so about 5 years. I'm turning 31, so about 5-6 years in total.
Cool. Where and who did you train with to become a coach?
I was at a youth charity called Reaching Higher. I did though. I have to allow it sometimes, because sometimes I forget that I did. A guy I used to work with at the bank asked me to come down and coach this team called Swanley Rangers.
Okay.
Like mixed under nines or something. I didn't like it like at all. So I just didn't like it. So I went for like 2 sessions and I was like, I don't like this. So I went to a charity called Reaching Higher. They're a youth charity based in Croydon. And that's where I like got my feet in basically properly. I was coaching under 14 boys. That was my first age group, and that's where I started. I was volunteering. And yeah, they gave me the opportunity to support like the lead coach at the time at the under 14s, and that's where I learnt my graft basically.
Nice. Cool. All right, next question is, do you have any experience coaching any other sports?
Coaching? No.
Yeah.
I've never coached any other sport. I've played other sport.
Yeah,
but I've never coached any other sport.
Okay. Can you see yourself leaning that way? No? Is it sticking with football?
Do you know what? I think like there's transferable stuff where you could possibly set up a practice in like another sport, but football is too natural to me. It's like it's in my blood. Yeah, so I can't. Like, if I was to try and coach netball, like my mum is a netball coach.
All right.
So my mum would just hot me up. So it's just long. Like, she'll just be like, son, like, you don't know what you're doing. Like, just allow it. Don't embarrass me. Like, it's just, nah.
I like that. Cool. All right. Which football coach most influenced your shaping of your coaching style? Or did you just, naturally grow your own?
You know what? That's a good question. No one's ever asked me that. I think that's tough, because you know what? I've picked up little bits from loads of people like along the way.
Yeah.
So let's say like my best friend, my like right hand partner in crime, Brian Zinger. I learn how to like do a session plan from Brian. Brian's session plans are like detailed. They're so to the T. That in terms of like the detail and what you want out of your coaching session, I learned that from Brian. I've never really had like, let's say, a professional coach that I used to watch and I used to be like, oh yeah, like I'll take a bit from him or take a bit from that. It's all been like people that I've actually rubbed shoulders with. They're the people that I've learned from. So like Brian taught me about like, just making sure that your session plans are well planned. And then learning from, I mentioned Anthony Ferguson, learning from him. He taught me about like being simple, basically not waffling during sessions. Literally, like he was very like short, concise, get in and get out. So I learned that from Anthony. And then there's so many, like Peter at Carshalton, Chris Locke at Charlton, Peter Augustine. There's like, I could name coaches all day, basically. It's like
you're basically just a sponge, basically taking
I'm honestly, I'm a thief. I'm a thief. I'm gonna watch this, I'm gonna watch that, I'm gonna observe that, I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna borrow that. So there's loads of coaches that I've seen and watched and observed and thought, all right, I'm gonna simplify that, I'm gonna take that, someone told me, I think it was a guy called Ray Lee, I think his name was. He was my coach on my level 1. He taught me about only put down and don't like putting down cones, basically like put down and pick up as you go along, rather than trying to set up during sessions. I could name like 10 coaches. Just, like,
that's cool. That's nice.
Stuff from yeah,
that's a good look. All right, next question. We've got 2 more in this block. Is which club did you dream of? It's a 2-part question. Which club did you dream of playing for when you played? And now, which club do you dream of coaching for now that you coach? And do you support that club?
Oh, okay. If I was to be honest with you, in terms of playing, remember, like, I'm of that age where female football wasn't televised.
Right.
So there was no dream to play.
Okay.
I mean, I was playing because I loved playing. But it wasn't, I never dreamed of being a professional footballer or playing for, like, let's say, like, I support West Ham, but I don't even think West Ham ladies even had a team then.
Right.
So it wasn't, I never used to look and think, oh, like, I would love to play for that team. It wasn't that wasn't a thing. That wasn't a dream. It wasn't something that I wanted to do. I was good at football. I would play for my local team, and if I went and kicked on a bit, happy days. But it wasn't. I can't think of a team that I used to watch and think, oh, I'd love to play for them, because I was watching men's football growing up.
Right.
So
you didn't even. Yeah, it wasn't even a.
it just wasn't even a thing. Coaching though.
Here we go.
Different ball game. Yeah, coaching is a different ball game. I think naturally, of course, I would love to coach at the club I support. Do you know what I mean? I would love to coach at West Ham, but if Chelsea phone me, I'm not saying no. Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't. I think actually, I wouldn't coach anywhere. If I'm being honest with you, I wouldn't coach anywhere. I think it would have to. For me, I'm not specific in terms of like club I would want to coach at. There are definitely certain places I would love to go and observe. I'd love to see how Barcelona implement their style of play. They've been doing that for years. I would love to see how Ajax turn over, because they've got a very unique like academy model. I'd want to see how Ajax like get their players through. Juve have also got specific like things that they have at their academy that I think, okay, yeah, that's sick. I'd want to go and like see that or work there. But let's say like English football, I think for English football, it's got to be the morals and values of the club. If that aligns, I would give it a go. But if I feel like the club's a bit off key, basically, then I'm not going. So yeah, it's difficult to answer that question because I'm not that picky.
No, because you're in it, because see, like I'm a fan, so I always want to know what the people who actually work in it, how they feel, and how you separate your work and the team that you support.
This is what I'm saying now. I like last season, I was academy manager for Millwall. I support West Ham. So that's the worst club to go and work for when you support West Ham. But at the end of the day, West Ham are not offering me academy manager.
Exactly what you do. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you're not going to say no to the job position at the end of the day. So yeah, you got to really think about those decisions when the club comes knocking.
Cool. All right. Last question in this block is: what does the game of football mean to you personally?
Ooh, football for me, it's like. I like football for me, it runs deeper than probably what I let on to people. I think that when I was younger, like especially in secondary school, when I look back, like in hindsight, there was a lot of things that I missed because I was playing football, which is a good thing, if that makes sense. Like, I grew up in Croydon, I went to a really bad school, and a lot of my friends were doing nonsense, basically. So that when I look back, and I think actually when I was in secondary school, like I got along with everyone, I was cool with everyone, but sport kind of gives you that hall pass, if that makes sense. Like when you're in secondary school, growing up in South London, if you can kick ball, you're in the cool club. Do you know what I mean? Like regardless, like it doesn't matter whether you don't speak English, whether your haircut's dead, like whatever. If you can kick ball, like you're in.
You're in.
Do you know what I mean? And that's basically like. There was a lot of times, let's say I might come into school on a Thursday morning and some ruckers kicked off on Wednesday evening. I wouldn't know. I was at football training.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or these got linked up and went to Fort Park and had a fight in Fort Park on Sunday. I wouldn't know. I was at ball.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, so I would just come back on a Monday and hear about the fight, and we could kiki and bust joke about it, but I weren't actually there. So because I wasn't actually there, you hear about it and you can crack joke about it, but I'm not getting in trouble with my mum.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was at football. So I think growing up in secondary school, I'm a girl, so boys obviously were into way more like bad stuff, let's say, than you were growing up as a young girl. So I was never going to be getting into that kind of stuff, but still, like, I still grew up in a bad area, so it did save me just from a lot of passa, basically, just in general. And then as I got older now, that became my escape. Like, it was the only thing that I had that I wouldn't think about nothing. So like when I'm at work, let's say I was working the bank from when I was like 18, 19. So I was in quite an adult-y job, like from young. Now, the stress of working 40 hours a week, football was the only thing that I could just switch off. I'm not thinking about my manager. I'm not thinking about customers. I'm not thinking about like my mum gassing about something. I'm not thinking about my phone bill being paid. Like, you're just not thinking about nothing. It's just you can just relax for that 2-3 hours. So if I was injured, let's say, like, that used to drive me crazy because it's like I've got no escape. there's nowhere for you to breathe, basically. There's nowhere for you to just switch off. So I think it's definitely like a mental break and escape. And good for the endorphins, basically.
Definitely. Seen. Okay. Lovely. All right. That's the end of that block. Next up, we're gonna play Would You Rather. Here we go.
Minus the milk and 2 sugars. Easy. Take a good look. You can see it's a good look. Take a good look. You can see it's a good look.
All right. So I've got 16 of these. It's a bit mixed up. There's some West Ham ones, some general ones.
Okay.
And then some, might be some player and some coach ones. So first up, actually, let me give you my rules first. I've got 3 rules. So you can rather just say which side you're on. Yeah. Pick one and we move on. You can explain yourself just in case you feel like it's a tough one and you need to explain yourself. If it's too tough and we need to skip it, we'll skip it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So first up, we got Emma Hayes or David Moyes.
Oh my God! How dare you?
Early. Emma Hayes, yeah. Okay. Number 2.
Everything. She's won everything. It has to be Emma Hayes.
True. I was thinking maybe Moyes and that European trophy might have swayed you.
Finished like 15th in the Prem or something like that year. So it's like we compromise everything basically for the one trophy. But just West Ham in it. We have to do that. We can't cope otherwise. So.
All right. Number 2, early kickoff or kickoff under the lights.
Nothing. I don't think anything beats under the lights.
Under the lights, nice.
Yeah, nothing beats under the lights.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Oh God, I'm gonna get dragged for this one.
Who are you with? Can hear the comments already.
This one, I'm gonna exercise rule number 2, maybe even rule number 3. Basically, I don't know. And the reason why I don't know is because Ronaldo has built himself to be this like football specimen, basically. He wasn't always as good as what he was, and he built himself to be good as what he was. He trained hard enough. Messi is like a God-gifted talent.
Facts. Exactly how I see it.
Yeah, so it's 2 different. I don't even like comparing the 2 because I just don't think that they should be compared, basically.
Gonna skip?
You know what? People that know me, are gonna absolutely scream at me because for the whole of my life I've been saying Ronaldo, but I think I'm gonna go with Messi. Actually, do you know why I'm gonna go with Messi? Because I think Ronaldo killed himself at the end of his career with his attitude. So we're gonna go with Messi.
See, okay.
People are gonna call me everyone's gonna tell me I'm a hypocrite for that one. But anyway, let's go with Messi.
Lovely. Next up, we got academy football or grassroots.
Oh no!
And you're the perfect person to answer this. You're everywhere.
Yeah. Do you mean as a coach?
I mean, see, he threw it back at me. I was just saying in general, as in watching. Go and watch the game. How about that? As a fan, as a viewer, football lover. Go watch academy or go watch grassroots.
God. Oh no, man, that's too hard, man. I don't even want that question.
Cool, we can skip it. You can skip it.
Do you know what? Yeah, okay. I'm actually gonna skip that one, but can I explain why I'm skipping it?
Yes, you can.
I'm skipping it because I think that academy football obviously is better to watch, so it will pass an eye test. So it's better to watch. You will definitely see a crazy amount of talent at academy football. So it's definitely aesthetically pleasing, but there is something about grassroots. Man, that like sometimes the vibe you get at grassroots, the like what you have to do as a coach, like these lot are not paid, they're volunteers, like it's like the job that they have to do is so hard, man. They don't have the support that academy like they just don't have the support in it. Right. Grassroots are plucking magic out of their air, basically, and they're still like producing some unreal results. So it's like I don't want to take it away from them, man. So, but academy is always great to watch. So
that's cool.
Yeah, no, I'm not having that.
They both get the green light. That's cool. Right,
yeah.
Skip. Next one. This might be similar for you. Let's see. So, be one of 6 coaches at a high level or be the head coach at grassroots level?
One of 6 coaches at the highest level.
Yeah.
Head coach at grassroots level.
Yeah.
I'm going one of 6.
1 of 6, yeah?
Yeah, 1 of 6, definitely.
Lovely. There we go. Next up, keep VAR or get rid of it?
You have to keep it now. I think you have to keep it now. I think you have to keep it because at the end of the day, unpopular opinion, but VAR wouldn't be sport now if footballers weren't cheating. Basically, that is the God honest truth. So now you have to keep VAR.
Cool. Nice. All right, here we go. West Ham captains, Mark Noble or Kevin Nolan?
Mark Noble.
Mark Noble. Nice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Next up, we've got the grounds, Upton Park, London Stadium.
Upton Park all day long, undefeated. Never going to compare. Upton Park every day of the week.
Cool. All right. Next up, we got get praised by your coaches or other managers. So this is you as a manager.
Get praised by your coaches or other managers.
Yeah.
I think I'd prefer to have praise by my coaches.
By your coaches.
To be honest, yeah, I think I'd prefer that. Other managers, let's be honest, man, you don't really care like that. Yeah, because we're not even friends on a day, so it doesn't matter.
I've got another follow-up question for that later, but it's all right. Don't worry, it'll come. Okay, it's more direct. Next up, number 10, back-to-back titles or 1 Champions League?
Oh, that's hard. That's hard, you know. That was in the Prem.
2 Prems.
Champions League is different gravy, you know. It's different gravy. Do you know what? Yeah, I think I'll go Champions League.
You go for the 1 Champions League, yeah?
I think I'll go Champions League, yeah.
Cool. Next up, travel to coach football or travel to watch football?
Travel to coach football.
Travel to coach football.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Next up, we got be the coach at the World Cup final or be the coach at the Champions League final?
Be the coach at the World Cup final. Definitely. That's like, you may never get that ever again.
For real. All right. Next up, get a call from West Ham men or get a call from West Ham women for a coaching job.
That's not fair.
I know.
That's not fair. But I'm going to go with West Ham men.
Okay. And you have been following them the longest, so that makes sense.
And it's just West Ham women.
Or maybe the women need you.
Yeah, they might. But I think as a female coach, the odds will say that I'm less likely to get the call from the men.
Right.
So yeah. I think for the sake of the trailblazing, I'll go with the men.
Nice. All right, here we go. Be an average coach with a good reputation or be an elite coach with rumors of cheating?
Oh, I'm the first one. Average coach with good reputation.
Okay.
Yeah, good reputation can get you anywhere, really.
Nice. All right, here we go. Again, this is a coaching question. So you're down 2-0 at half-time. Second half, do you shut up shop or do you throw everything at it?
What's the score, sorry?
2-0.
It's 2-0 at half-time?
Yeah.
Am I winning or losing?
You're losing. You're down.
2-0 down at half-time.
So do you shut up to stop the beating or do you go at it like, we can win this 3-2?
No, I'm dashing the kitchen sink. We're going for it.
Cool. Nice. All right. Last one is Sunday morning on the sidelines or Sunday morning watching West Ham play?
Sunday morning on the sideline. West Ham get me mad. They annoy me. I'd rather not.
Said that so quick.
Yeah, no, thank you.
All right. Cool. All right. We're going to take a break and we're going to come back, talk about being a manager. So let's
meets the pitch. This is Grassroots Gazette, from the ground up, uncovering football's true spirit.
All right, so how many we got in this one? Oh, we got 16 in this one, so let's get it. All right. What is, if you can explain to me, what is the difference between a manager and a first team coach? Because it seems to me that the same person can have that same title. So could you explain that?
Yeah, the one person can have both roles, but it is difficult. It takes a special type of person to be able to do both. Now, my version of the two meanings would be first team coach is the one that is predominantly on the grass. So they're delivering a lot of the sessions, they're implementing the style of play, they're on the grass with the players, basically. So all of the stuff that the manager, let's say, would want is what the first team coach is actually like getting the players to physically do.
Okay. Right. So it's still the manager's plan that the first team coach is implementing.
Implementing,
okay.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah,
you.
whereas the manager might be the person that actually selects the squad, makes the subs, might even have the coaching philosophy, the playing philosophy, wants to play a certain way, wants to win games a certain way, or wants to enter this game a certain way. That might also be the person that puts the arms around the players, gives some of the players the hairdryer treatment, like checks in on the players whose mum's not well. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's the person that manages, basically.
Right. Okay.
And the first team coach is on the grass. But it does take a special type of person to be able to do both.
Right. Fair enough. I understand that. Okay, number 2. Tell me about your first day as a manager. How did it go? What was the first things that you changed or added to the club as a manager?
First day as a manager. What was my first job as a manager? I think my first.
If we can stick with your first day at Dulwich.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, at Dulwich, my first day because I'm thinking my first day as a manager was like Wharton and Hersham. That was time ago. At Dulwich, my first training session or my first match.
First training session.
My first training session.
Or your first day, period, really. So you can put whatever your first day was, you got there, you are the manager officially.
First day, basically, I came in and basically just explained like my expectation and then what they should expect from me.
Right.
So it was just like my first, literally like 2 minutes, let's say. It was me basically just saying like, I'm Sean, this is what I've done, this is what I've achieved, and this is what you can expect from me, and this is what I would expect from you. So because it was a training session that I came in, I basically explained to them that I want training to feel like match day. So we have to train how we play.
Nice.
So training might feel more demanding than what you're used to. However, it will translate on match day if you learn to train how you play. Also that there might be, it might feel tough sometimes. It might feel like I'm demanding too much. I've got no problem with you telling me like, this is a lot now. But there is a certain standard and expectation that I have if you want to win things. So and you have to get used to that, basically. And I also told them that you can expect a level of honesty from me. So I'm not going to be that manager that's going to waffle, basically. If you've been dropped, and you want to ask me why you've been dropped, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to say to you didn't train well, or you're enough, or whatever, basically. I'm going to be honest with you. I would rather kill you with the truth than kill you with lies, basically. So that was kind of like just like an expectation standard. And then I think we started working on like how we press. I think that was like the first session that I done.
Cool. All right. So far, can you tell me about your best day as a manager of Dulwich Football Club Reserves?
At Dulwich, my best day at Dulwich.
Best day so far to date.
My best day at Dulwich, I think it's got to be beating Whiteleaf. I think that's got to be beating Whiteleaf. And the manager of Whiteleaf is going to absolutely kill me to hear me say this. But reason being, basically, a bit of context so Dulwich Hamlet Reserves are in the same league as Whiteleaf. The manager at Whiteleaf used to manage Dulwich Hamlet Reddies.
Okay.
So he left halfway, about end of October, and then went and got a job, obviously, in the same league. When he did go and get a job in the same league, the week before I started, Whiteleaf played us and they battered us 4-0.
Jeez.
So I was adamant.
Yeah.
We lose every single game this season. We are not losing that game. Like, they're for pride. Do you know what I mean? We're not losing that game. So yeah, and we beat them 3-0.
Nice.
And not only did we beat them 3-0, but we bopped them off the park. It was such a good performance. Yeah, that's probably like one of the best days that I've had managing at Dulwich. And then straight after that game, we went over to the stadium because the first team captain was leaving, basically. So we had like a lap of honour.
Okay, yeah.
And all the fans were there. There was like 1,000 fans there that day.
Nice.
So that was like, yeah, that was a really nice day. Like, just at the club, it was a great day out.
Excellent. All right, we're gonna flip that. Can you tell me about the worst day so far? What happened and how did you resolve it? If you did.
Yeah, one of the worst days at Dulwich, I would say. I'd probably say when was it Richmond? I can't even remember the team now that we played, but we drew 2-2 to a team that we had no drawing with.
Okay.
Like, none. Like, they know we're better than them. We know we're better than them. We won the last time we played them. So it was just like, we just played so bad. You know, when the performance is so bad that it's just like, what the hell did you think we were going to get out of playing like that? So, and I think that was the first game that I'd managed that, like, I'd kind of blasted them a little bit.
Saying, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I just told them that, like, don't ever think that you can step out and play it like ever again. Like, ever. Like, in your careers, like, ever. Don't ever do that ever again. It's like, it's poor. I'm not going to swear because this is going somewhere, but yeah, there's a few little effing and blinding going on. Basically, I was not happy that day at all.
See, I hear you. All right, next question. In your view, are there any misconceptions about being a football manager? I.e., they just pick the team, they don't really do all the work on the grass. Is that a misconception?
Yeah, like, there's a few, really. I think, like, do you know what? I think players in general need to go and manage a squad, like, for a day.
To see what's going to happen.
Yeah, because, like, the amount of stuff that you have to do, yeah, like, I've got a rule at Dulwich, which, again, is something that I said on my first day. If you get dropped, do not ask me the reasoning as to why you've been dropped or you're not starting on match day. What a selfish thing to do. It's like, I've got 16 players to manage. I've probably had to drop some players. I've got to have conversations with those players. You've got to decide who's going to start, decide who's going to come on at certain times. You've got to do the team sheet, make sure everyone's got what they need, put the kit out, make sure the coaches are doing the warm-up, think about what the opposition are doing. You've got so much things to think about. So don't come and ask me on match day why you're not starting. Because it's just selfish, I think. So you're better off, ask me Monday, ask me Saturday, ask me any other day, but not today, because I've got so much things to do. But I think that players feel like they're owed that explanation exactly at the time that they ask.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work like that. And I think when you've got 1,000,001 things to concentrate on, at the end of the day, if you don't start but we win the game, which one's more important? You starting or us winning?
There you go.
And that's what it comes down to. So I know that if you would have preferred the start over the win, you're selfish. That's it. And it's not actually about the team. It's about whether you played or not.
I hear you. Yeah, no, you're making sense.
Yeah, that's what I would say in terms of, like, I don't know if that's a misconception, but I just think that players have this thing in their mind that they think, like, you know, like, this is the team that you should start. So why didn't you start that team? But you never know, like, a manager's, like, true reasoning behind why they've made that decision. And I just think you need to time your questions a bit better rather than feeling like you're owed the answer.
Fair enough. All right, next question. Get a little deep. Sexism. Have you had to deal with any sexism in the game? If so, can you tell me about it and how it was dealt with? Again, if it was dealt with.
Yeah, this is like week in, week out in men's football. It's like, I'm almost bored of it now. Every week.
Damn. Yeah, I hear that.
Every week, every other week, once a month, someone asks me if I'm the physio. I think I've been asked that. Like, I'm bored of, like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Of being asked. Like, I think that's probably the most, just assuming that because I'm the woman, that I'm either a physio or a club sec.
Yeah.
So
From
that's
past interviews that I've had, I've been told that female coaches have been walked past to go and shake someone else's hand. You're like, I'm the coach. Like, where you going?
Yeah, loads of times. That's happened to me loads of times. They'll just walk straight past me, shake someone else's hand. That's been happening to me for years. So I've even had like I said, a opposition manager go and shake someone else's hand, and then at the end of the game when we've won, I've gone to shake his hand, and he's like, "Oh, I think he said to me like, oh, physios don't normally come and shake my hand," and I said, "I'm the manager." So he was like, "Oh, I didn't realize that," and I was like, "I've just been shouting for the whole 90 minutes
game
on the sideline. Are you all right?" So yeah, but it's like they just don't want to believe that there could be a woman here managing. I've never had anything like directly in terms of like someone name calling or.
That's what I was just about to ask you. Yeah, because you know those ones are like the ones that they could. Oh, I didn't mean nothing. But have you had outright like shout?
No.
Oh, you get me? You're just a girl. No. That type. None of that.
I've had it on Twitter and online.
Oh yeah. Of course you have that. Yeah.
Online.
I mean, like
get back in the kitchen,
your face,
get your Hoover out. No one. That's what I'm trying to say. Online is just fake. Like people just say stuff like online, but no one ever says any of that stuff to your face.
Yeah, definitely not. All right, cool. Number 7. What is the best piece of advice that you've received about management?
The best piece of advice.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of good advice, you know.
Nice.
I've had a lot of good advice. The other day, actually, one of my mentors gave me like an acronym, which is like 3 Fs basically, and that the best managers are, or the best leaders, let's say, are fair, firm, but friendly.
I like that.
Yeah, that's probably that's just the first that came to my head. So that's probably a good bit of advice. Like as long as you're fair, but you're firm and you're friendly, like all 3 can exist basically. So I think that's a good bit of advice for as a manager anyway.
Yeah. That it makes sense. You see the word fair though. That seems like that get you in trouble as a it's be fair, answer my question. Why ain't I being picked right now? Ain't that someone could throw that back at you type thing?
Yeah, I think to be honest, it's like, so let's say for example, like that in the situation that you just gave, yeah. Like to be fair to me, don't ask me on match day.
Right.
And then to be fair to you, I will give you a reason. Do you know what I mean? So I will explain why that is, or why you haven't been selected, and my reasoning is normally going to be fair.
Right.
So it might be as simple as you weren't at training.
See. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? It might be that, or it might be okay, so we've got 4 strikers that were available today, and I normally travel with 3 strikers. So you might be the striker that's underperforming right now, which is why you've been left off the bench. Isn't that fair?
There you go. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Lovely.
Yeah.
All right. Number 8. So I did a little research. Maya Chung, former Vietnam manager, is the oldest female football manager at 72 years of age. Do you plan on managing that long?
I just want to be sitting down like with my grandkids at that age. Like, I'm not trying to be up on the grass doing the most. Like, someone's got to give me a director role by then. I can't be on the grass putting out codes 72. Nah. Well, fair play to her though.
Yeah, me.
Fair play to her. If she's still cracking on, then do it, but not me. I'm trying to chill.
See. All right, cool. All right, team building. Players aside, do you do activities with your staff? Is that a thing?
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. The staff we have to go out for a drink.
Same. Okay.
We have to do something. Yeah, definitely. Like even if it's just like, I don't know, you go Costa, do something. Do something with the staff. Yeah, 100%. We have to because we have to bond as well, because the players can see it if we don't bond.
Yeah. All right, cool. Go out for a drink and that. Even Costa.
Yeah, like whatever like you deem fit, but we have to do something.
Yeah. All right, lovely. Number 10. What technology out there do football coaches use these days that you would love to give to your coaches? Is there anything out there that you'd love to have? You just don't have the funding, or maybe?
That's quite a good question, though, because I'm not really a big tech person. But when I was at Tooting Beck, Pitsy, Pitsy is just one of the best people I've ever met in my life. Craig Nelson, just such a guy. He showed me this app. I think it's called like Smart Coach, but I think there's levels to it. Like I think there's like you can pay for a certain package or whatever. And basically, what we used to do is we used to like on that app you can keep your stats during the game.
Okay.
So you can have like I think you can set it however you want it, but I think you can have like forward passes, shots on target, shots off target. I don't know, like successful aerial duels, successful take-ons, and you can keep tabs on it during the game because you literally just click like a plus sign like on the app.
Okay.
But I think you can. It might be like £10 a month for this type of package and £20 a month for that type of package. But if you set like your team or players like certain targets, it allows for you to keep track of that, whether it's one of your coaches or especially in like youth grassroots, we used to give the subs like things to keep on top of so that they're not just sitting there just watching the game cold basically. So they might be counting how many like defensive 1v1s we've had, let's say, and it's easy if you just got it on an app and then you can just keep tabs so that at half time that player knows, okay, where I'm a winger and we've asked you to have 2 crosses and 2 shots, let's say, and we've managed to keep on top of it on this tablet. So I'd probably say like Smart Coach is quite a good bit of tech actually to keep on top of what's going on throughout the game. Numbers don't lie at the end of the day.
There you go. Numbers don't lie. All right, next question. We've got about 6 more in here. Describe a time when one of your coaches wasn't putting in as much effort as the others. How did you solve that? If that has
that even happened to me? I'm trying to think. Has that happened to me? One of my coaches is not putting in enough effort. If I'm being honest with you, that's never happened to me. But what I have experienced is being in a coaching team and one coach isn't pulling their weight.
Okay.
I think it's easier when you're peer to peer. So if I'm a coach and that person's a coach, but I know that person's not pulling their weight, it might be easier to just have a little word. Do you know what I mean? Just to pull them aside and just be like, listen, I'm here doing this, doing that, and you're getting teased, bruv. Do you know what I mean? So like, come on, man, help me out.
Yeah.
Or help me do this, help me do that. But this is why I'm selective with the staff that I have around me because I can't. Like, come on, man. Yeah, that's probably why I haven't experienced it because I've never had a coach that I've brought in that's not pulling their weight.
Same. That's a good look. Nice. All right. Next question. Where do you stand on this statement? Managers shouldn't have favorite members of staff.
Managers shouldn't have favorite members of staff.
I.e., you have a favorite coach that you like. You say you got 6 coaches under you, but you like 2 of them.
I like 2 of them.
Like you like yeah.
Yeah, these are my guys.
Yeah, the first one that you speak to and everything, and then like
I'd probably agree with that to a certain extent. And if you do have favourites, I just don't think you should make it obvious. But
yeah, I've heard that before. Even if you do, just try not to make it obvious because you're human. You're human at the end of the day.
Yeah, just try not to make it obvious. But I think, yeah, it's probably not wise. But then I suppose, let's say, for example, if I had a team of 6, I might have 2 coaches that I've worked with for 10 years.
Yeah.
But I might have 4 of those coaches that I just worked at different clubs, but I haven't spent. I might have 2 coaches, let's say, that like come to my house every Friday. Do you know what I mean? And we sit down and drink and chat rubbish, basically. So we're a lot more closer than what the other 4 would be, let's say. So it might come across like they're favourites as such. But yeah, I just don't make it obvious, I think, if you're going to do that.
Fair enough. I agree with that. All right. What is the most challenging situation you've faced as a manager to date?
Ooh, okay. I've got one. When you're a manager and you're being dictated to by the chairman, that is tough because you might think that player shouldn't play, but the chairman's ringing you, telling you that he should.
Same.
And you do think to yourself, like, do you want to come and do the job then? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you want to? So if you're going to dictate to me who I should be playing, then you might as well manage them. So I think that's really hard. I think managers and chairman relationship is difficult to manage anyway, because you might, like I said, you might want to play certain players, but the chairman saying that you have to play this person. You might want this player to come in, but the chairman saying no, I'm not paying him what he should get. Or I'm not, or like you don't have the budget for this player, but you know that the chairman's paying someone else a certain amount of money and they shouldn't. It's like that kind of stuff basically is difficult to manage. So
politics, yeah. Okay.
yeah, because I think that's out of your control.
Same. I hear that. All right. We've got 3 more questions left in this block. So, are you responsible for all staff and players even when you're not around, i.e. when they're on away games, you know, does it all fall down on you if anything happens?
It always does.
Being them.
If you're the manager, yeah, it always does. Even at AFC Croydon, like I'm director of football there, everybody's under me.
Yeah.
So I mean, so anything that goes wrong, somebody's ringing my phone.
Same.
So yeah, I think as a manager, if you don't take responsibility for that, you probably just shouldn't lead. So you have to, yeah. Regardless, if you're the manager or the director of football, whatever, you're definitely accountable for your staff.
Excellent. Good to hear that. Number 15. What's your take on fair play? What does it mean, and how do you ensure that your staff and players embody it?
Oh, I think obviously that's quite a wide umbrella, I would say, in terms of fair play.
A scenario, but I hope I don't have it further down. But the scenario is, this is the normal one, but it's normally for a player. But you could say what you'd want that player to do. So imagine your player's going down the wing, and the opposition is chasing them. The opposition pulls a hammy. You can even, like, let's say you hear it pop. Should your player kick the ball out or carry on? And is that a fair play thing right there, do you think?
Okay. The truth of at youth football, 100% kick the ball out. This is kids.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think at any youth level, kick the ball out. I think as an adult now, when you go into adult football,
yeah,
I think when you get into adult football, that's when circumstances then become like relevant, basically. So let's say, for example, opposition player pulls a hammy, but we're 5-0 up. Just kick the ball out. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, we're 5-0 up. Yeah, but if we're 1-0 down and it's a final, and you've and the opposition team pulls his hammy, it's not a head injury. We're going about our business.
It's not a head injury, you see that?
Yeah, it's not a head injury, then we're going about our business. And also, I think oppositions, if there's a bit of like hot rivalry and you know that team wouldn't do it for you,
yeah,
I mean, then don't do it for them, because they wouldn't do it for you. But I think if the general game has been quite fair, then I think, yeah, by all means, like, kick the ball out. Do you know what I mean? But
like, read the room, read the pitch type.
Read the room, yeah, like, just like know what's going on here. So I think at any youth level,
kick it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Teach the babies the right way, and the adults got.
Yeah. 100%.
All right. Last question. As a manager, are there relationships within the club that goes against your rules, that you say, like, yeah, no, that's not happening? Because, you know, I don't know if you heard about the Leicester women's manager. I think he was dating one of the players and he got sacked for it. But it seems that the players are cool to have relationships, but I think it might be if someone's got power, they can't. Where's your view on that?
If I'm being honest with you, what you do behind closed doors is actually none of my business. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I try not to, like, pry into people's business too much unless it affects something that's going on. Do you know what I mean? So, like, if 2 players are dating in the team, let's say, and then you lot have domestic before you leave the house, and now you're not passing the ball to each other, that's stupid to me. Do you know what I mean? So if that's what you're going to be doing, then allow your relationship at the club. Do you know what I mean? If this is what you're going to be doing. If it doesn't affect anything now, then what you're doing is not really any of my concern. Do you know what I mean? I think it only becomes, this is going to sound like I'm being obvious here, but it only becomes my concern when it becomes my concern, if that makes sense. Yeah. Otherwise, it hasn't really got anything. It doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't matter. Or unless there's some foul play going on here. Do you know what I mean? So I think if like an older player is dating a really young, like there's some
Right,
potential.
yeah.
Then we're gonna have a problem. But otherwise, it doesn't really matter, man. Because especially in women's football, like I've been playing for so long, managers dating, players are dating. It's like you're not even gonna be able to get rid of it in women's football because it's so common.
Seeing, because the relationships, again, like I said, amongst the players seem to be fine. That's fine. Like,
Yeah,
players can
I
have,
get it though because it's a position of trust, isn't it?
yeah,
So I understand like the position of trust dating a player. It doesn't look good. So I understand, but I think it becomes a problem when problems arise. Do you know what I mean? If there's no issues that are arising, then I don't really see the problem. But if you know that, okay, so that player starts every single week now, and you think it's because of their relationship,
yeah,
do you know what I mean? But then, you know, like I said, I'm not gonna swear, but it's like typical old saying of like, don't poo where you eat.
there you go. There you
Do you know what I
go.
mean? So like just a bit of common sense, really. Do you know what I mean? It's just probably wise not to do that.
Yeah. All right, that's the last question. We're gonna come back and talk about you being a director of the Rams.
Story, and every goal ignites a community. Welcome to Grassroots Gazette, from the ground up, where football finds its voice.
Okay, how many we got in this one? 16 in here. All right, number 1. What does a sporting director in football do?
Well, I can't speak for
What do
every
you
sporting
do?
director. I can't speak for every sporting director. But I can speak for me. The role that I'm in there is quite unique because it was a startup, basically.
Okay.
So my role initially was starting it. So I had to put on the trials, find the players, find the staff, make sure that like they were in the right league and the cups and stuff, sourcing the kit, getting the equipment sorted, basically making sure the staff and the players have everything that they need. And then day to day, let's say, it's like managing the staff, making sure the staff have what they need. It's normally a lot of putting out of fires. Somebody's upset about something, so you've got to kind of like diffuse it. And then it's just constantly making sure that the players and the staff have what they need to achieve what we want as a club. Whether that's support, whether that's physical, whether that's player has to take an Uber to training, getting the Uber reimbursed, or do you know what I mean, or whatever, basically.
So you're just taking care of everyone's needs, basically.
Yeah, you're just taking care of everyone's needs. Yeah, I know.
I've got more questions to get deeper. Don't worry. So yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Lovely. All right. Next question is there a process to sit in the seat as director? When I say that, I mean, is there a path that you have to follow, or can you just get qualifications and boom, hit there?
You can do qualifications, like you can. Okay. You know, like I know that there is like my son's dad has got a master's degree in sporting directorship.
Okay.
So there is stuff that you can study. Do you know what I mean? That you can study it. But then I think a lot of the director roles come down to who you know. It's either who you know or what you've done or what you can bring, basically. Yeah. So like I didn't have like a route that I was specifically trying to follow. And then like Andrew Johnson, let's say, who's just come to do director of football, like for basically the men's side at Croydon, he's been appointed in that role because he's an ex-pro. Do you know what I mean? So like he's an ex-pro, he's been in and around the game for so long, like his son plays, like he knows about the game, and he's a local boy.
Right.
So, but he's not been a director of football anywhere before, or studied a degree, or he might have done, I don't know, but I don't think there's a
sport, you get me? So yeah, okay, yeah. So it's like experience versus you can study it if you want to.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, but I think a lot of it is more who you know, and what you can bring, basically. And I think it's more about that. Like I think in like non-league, let's say, a lot of the director of football, if they do have any, but the director of football roles in non-league is heavily about recruitment and like commercial in terms of like what money you can bring into the club because they need the money. Right. Whereas let's say in the pro world, it might also be commercial, but they normally have a commercial department, do you know what I mean, that would deal with that. So your job might heavily be recruitment, let's say. So it really depends on the needs of the club, and then what like a lot of director in footballs might just have a very extensive black book of players that they can just come in and call, like, yeah, come. Whereas and that's probably part of the reason as to why I got the job at Croydon, is because I played football for so long. I had a list of players that I could just call and say, can you come and play? But then same, it's just about like experience. I've been in the women's game for so long. I've played in that league. I kind of knew what was needed to get the job done.
Fair enough. Lovely. Excellent. All right. This is going to be a short one. All right, so you're in charge of appointing staff, i.e. managers and coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you look for when hiring a manager or a coach? What do you look for? If you want to break them down, so manager first, then coach, what are you looking for?
Knowledge of the game.
Is that for both of them, or you're talking managers?
Yeah, okay. Knowledge of the game. I'm not on the louder dinosaur stuff. I'm done with all that nonsense. Do you know what I mean? With this, like, oh, we're just going to kick it long and get up to our fast striker. I'm just not interested in that. So
kick it long to the tall dude.
Yeah, So we need like some knowledge, basically. Knowledge of the game. A love for coaching. There needs to be a level of like training sessions need to be good to keep players coming back. Also, willingness to make tough decisions. You can't always be the good guy. So you have to be willing to make those tough decisions when it comes down to it. And being able to affect a game at any point. Winning mentality. Also like a level of like wanting to have like a togetherness and a camaraderie. Depending on where I am as well, like obviously in my personal role, like in the women's world, you need to be able to talk to women because it's different to talking to men. Do you know what I mean? Like how I talk to my men's team is not how I talk to my women's team.
Right.
Yeah, and I'd probably say and obviously a level of professionalism, be on time. Do you know what I mean? Make sure that you're in kit. You're not turning up with Crocs. Do you know what I mean? There's a level of like professionalism. You're willing to keep on top of stuff, balls being pumped. Do you know what I mean? Like all those kind of things, like just make sure that you keep a level of professionalism at all times.
Lovely. All right. Next up is, how would you define your leadership style?
I would say, in short, that I've always tried to lead with this, basically. If you can look after your people, the business will do itself. Nice. In a nutshell, basically. That's it. I think if the people are taken care of, they are more willing to get the job done. If you don't take care of the people, they don't want to do a job. There
you go. I hear that. Definitely. All right. What's the best part of being a director of women's football? What's the best part?
Not being obliged to be anywhere. That's probably the best thing. Like I don't actually have to be anywhere. So if I don't want to go to this game, I don't have to. If I don't want to go to training, I don't have to. Yeah, that's it.
If I want to, I'm there. You get me?
If I want to be there, I'm gonna be there. Yeah. If I don't have to be there, like for example, I don't have to go to away games. I don't have to be there.
See?
There's no need for me to be there.
Yeah. Pop up in the hoodie. What are you doing?
yeah. Like turn up when you want, whenever you want.
I like that.
That's the privilege.
All right, cool. So, what is the hardest part of the job as being a director of women's football? What's the hardest?
Keeping everyone happy.
Keeping everyone happy.
Everyone happy. Do you know what I mean? Like we're talking everyone. You can't keep everybody happy. So that's what's hard, and everybody always wants something. So sometimes you've got to say no. Sometimes you have to get people to see from your perspective why this is a no. Also getting people to understand like there are circumstances where things look a certain way, but that's not actually how they are.
Of course. Yeah, I understand that. All right, here we go. Take me through a typical day for a director of women's football. Like how many days do you work? How many hours, start, finish? What you doing? Little run through.
It's not, to be honest, in terms of like the hours and the days, it's not. I don't know. Like I don't know how many hours. Like I'm not like I'm not really, anything can happen at any time. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like on the go, whenever and wherever pops up. There might be a day where I don't speak to no one, I don't take no calls, I don't take no texts, I haven't worked today. But then there might be a day where I've been on and off the phone all day, I've been sending emails all day. So each day is very different, and it depends on how smooth things go. So, you know, like pre-season and beginning of the season is very, very busy. It's really hard to like figure out like what a typical day looks like, because no day's the same.
That's
So
a nice job, isn't it? Is that a good thing? I was gonna say, is that a good thing? That's a good thing, right?
It is a good thing, but then it also could mean that like somebody might call me at 9 o'clock shouting down my phone. Do you know what I mean? It's 9 p.m. So it's like I don't really want to be shouted at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for them, that's when training finishes.
Right. So
that's when they're gonna call.
It's a 24-hour job.
Yeah, like anything can happen at any time. I might get a call on a Sunday morning. I've had calls on a Sunday morning, and Sean, the ref ain't turned up, and I'm like, I'm in my bed.
Yeah, we talking
about this. I mean, like regardless, because I'm the highest port of call. So for it to come to me, someone's got to do something. So it could, yeah, anything can happen at any time. Really, it's very off the cuff. It's a hard question to answer, to be honest.
Cool. All right. Next up, we got, what is the process in recruiting a player? Is it the same as the pros with less money, or is it completely different?
I think in terms of recruiting a player, it depends on, you've got to really think about like a lot of stuff. Let's say and it's different with women and men as well. Some players, when it comes to recruitment, if you just like, let's say like specifically in men's football, a certain amount of money players recruited.
Same.
Do you know what I mean? Some players, you could just say to them, right, we've got £500 a week for you. Yep, they're there. Do you know what I mean? Simplest recruitment ever. They don't care how you play. They don't care what we're doing. They don't care if you ask me to run up and down. They don't care if it's £500 a week. I'm going to be there.
Yeah. Sure.
So it might be. It could just be that. But then let's say like for me, when I'm recruiting a player, it might be, for me, above anything else, you just need to be coachable. So it might be, if a player is coachable, anything else you can kind of work with. Okay. You might need it. Then it all depends on like what league you're in, what kind of ability of players do you need to get through this league. Like I said, what budget do you have? The kind of players that you already have. So you might have a certain type of team, so therefore you need a certain type of midfielder. You might need a certain type of winger. It all really depends on like the needs of the team, and even sometimes how that player might fit in with the staff. You know that, let's say for example at Croydon, I've got like a quite harsh manager, let's say, so I can't bring in a player that's too timid,
right?
Because she wouldn't do well under his type of leadership.
Same.
So there's a lot of factors I think you've got to bring in when it comes to recruitment.
Even if she was like you see her play, you're like, wow, but you're like, yeah, she won't work with this manager. There's no point. Yeah, there's no point. Yeah, so it might even be like I might have to call her and say, listen, like my man's not the easiest to work with, but he'll get the job done. Yeah,
I mean? So she might say, okay, or like let's say even speaking from a player's perspective, like if somebody was recruiting me, but they know, let's say that the manager's rude, they know they're not phoning me. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to phone me to come and play for someone like that, because we'll get on hot water. So
it's just going to be drama. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just won't phone me. Do you know what I mean? So it's like there's a lot of that, really. Like you've got to kind of, it depends on how that player fits.
I understand, definitely. All right, number 10. Let's say you're talking to a young coach who's thinking of applying for a job as yours, director. What advice would you give them? Like, what's the most important thing they need to know before pursuing a career as a director?
Oh God. I would probably say that like if you're gonna stand at the very top, you're gonna have to ensure that you're ready and willing to truly be accountable for things that may not be your fault, but they become your problem. So you might not be the person to blame, and you might not have created the issue, but it's going to be your issue to solve. So you're going to have to get used to like being in the forefront of some issues that you didn't create, and also you cannot you actually can't be everyone's friend. You're going to upset someone at some point, and you're going to have to just hold that. Someone's going to get upset.
Definitely.
Yeah, you're just going to have to just accept that, or even just learn how to manage confrontation effectively, so that it's not toxic. Do you know what I mean? That you're not just making all these like harsh decisions, and you're kind of like doing it with your chest without anyone caring, or you're just doing what you want, basically. Like there has to be a level of like,
say why you're doing what you're doing.
Say why, yeah. You have to explain why you're doing these things, and it's not everyone's gonna like it.
But at least you explained.
You can respect it, yeah, or you explained, or at least they can respect it. They might not like it, but they can respect it.
Yeah. No. All right, cool. Shout out to the young people. All right.
And don't think it's a 9 to 5. Also, like, don't think you can just switch off your phone at 5 o'clock. Like, it's not that.
Yeah, 9 o'clock in the morning, Sunday.
Yeah, no, like, don't think like this is not like, don't phone me after a certain time. Like, this is not gonna work like that.
Cool. All right. As a director now, how many people do you have working under you?
I've got.
And is that enough?
Nah, it's not enough. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 people working under me. But no, it's not enough, because I need a goalkeeper coach. I need a physio. I need I would like an analyst. I would like a strength and conditioning. I would like all of these things. But there's only a certain amount of budget in it.
Yeah,
so, right. But I've got 4 at the moment.
Saying okay. Let's hope the budget grows.
Yeah. Let's hope. Exactly.
Next up, having done
5. Actually, I do have a physio. Sorry. 5. I don't need a physio. I have 1. Sorry, 5.
We got the physio. Don't worry.
Sorry.
All right. Number 12. With all the jobs that you've done within football, has that given you a better understanding of the football business? If so, can you explain how?
Definitely, 100%. I've been a manager, I've been an assistant coach, I've been first team coach in women's and men's, and then been academy manager at Millwall. It's definitely a massive insight. The experiences are, I'd probably say, like, they're very different, and I have taken a lot out of each experience. So let's say, like, as a manager, managing, what I've learned about, let's say, managing women and men, women are hard to manage and easy to coach, typically, because women are more fueled with emotion. So a lot of the decisions that women make have more emotion than they do logic behind them. Okay. And you just have to understand that women are made up like that. Do you know what I mean? That's how we are as women. And hormonally, we're set up different. Facts. So you have to understand like how women are built and how they tick. But women are way more likely to just soak in what you're saying in terms of coaching and level of detail. Men are easy to manage and hard to coach. So men, you lot all just get in the shower, you'll fight, you'll like punch each other up and that, and then in like 10 minutes you're calm and like everything's fine. You've got your testosterone out and you're all good to go, basically. Yeah. So like men can kind of manage themselves. Do you know what I mean? They can manage themselves. So I'd say they're easier to manage, but they're harder to coach because a man is more likely to question what you're saying. And that's not as a female. Men are just more likely to question what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like in general. So that was definitely like a difference in experience. Again, the way that you speak to women, like I don't really do like the hairdryer treatment stuff with women. Same. It just doesn't really go down well. So it's just not wise, basically. Whereas like with men, some men actually need it. Some men, I've noticed, almost enjoy it. It's like they like getting shouted at. Yeah, it's like I don't know, it's like they thrive off it. So, yeah, so I think that's also a different dynamic. But then being academy manager and being director of football was like a massive realization that like people are really needy. Do you know what I mean? Like they're really needy. Like people want a lot of stuff like all the time. And then you've got to filter between like what's necessary. Do you know what I mean? What's not necessary? What's a desirable? What's an essential? And also, and actually, as academy manager at Millwall, parents, man.
Yeah. I've heard about it. I've heard the parents. We are the worst. I heard.
If I speak, I'll probably get cancelled. But like the parents, yeah. Oh my god! And I'm a parent.
That's what I'm saying. That's what made me laugh about it. I was like, yeah, of course. Every parent wants their baby to play in it.
Oh my gosh. Parents, yeah. They want and expect so much. Absolutely insanity. Like anyone that's worked in whether it's grassroots, whether it's pro, will tell you parents are a tough crowd. They're tough. Listen, that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like parents need like a masterclass in just like conduct. I don't even know, but just anyway, don't even get me started.
Crazy. All right. Next question. Have you ever had to sack a manager, coach, or let a player go? If so, how did they cross the line in your eyes for you to do so?
Manager or coach, I haven't had to sack, but I have had to discipline.
Okay.
So like if you do this again, I'll sack you. I have had to do that. And player, I've had to let players go, yeah. So managers and coaches in terms of discipline, that's more like that was more about like conduct and professionalism. So like you're talking a madness on the VO.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And the VO and obviously the parents can hear you and stuff on the VO.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff is unprofessional. You can't be talking about players are dead and players are rubbish and do you know what I mean? On the VO when the parents can hear. Whatever you talk about in a pub or in a car on the way back, like is irrelevant in it. But like you can't be saying this is something you just can't say. So I've definitely had to have like, but again, you know that when I was saying earlier about fairness, is that when you break this down, it's like you're talking about people's children. Do you know what I mean? So you need to be mindful about what you're saying and how you're saying it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've definitely had to have like some strong conversations around that. I've had a situation where a manager has a player from his age group has gone up an age group. And he was quite adamant that he was happy for her to go up basically into the age group. He just didn't care about her not being in his age group anymore. So she's gone up. By the time we got to the end of pre-season, he wanted that player back down in his age group.
Okay.
So he told me that he wanted that player back down. I said no. Like she's gone up now. So she's staying up. And so what he done is he approached the player and tried to like
for her to come back.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like guilt trip her.
Oh yeah, like make it that she wants to go back type thing.
Yeah, like trying to guilt trip her basically into coming down.
Damn.
But like you can't do that. She's like 13. Do you know what I mean? So you can't guilt trip a 13-year-old into playing for you. So it's just like that's just not fair.
Yeah.
So I've had to have those kind of conversations. And players leaving, or I've had to like get rid of. It depends on why I'm getting rid of them. If I've had a player that's not good enough, they're just not good enough for the standard, I will normally try to find them a club.
Okay.
So I would say, okay, obviously you're not going to get any minutes here, but I've got this club that you can go to. Do you know what I mean? Or you can dual sign to. So I'll always try and find like an exit for them. So it's not, they're not just kicking you out, leaving you with nowhere.
Yeah.
If it's, but I have had players that I've just let go because, do you know what I mean? Or you've been disrespectful, or you've done something outlandish. Do you know what I mean? That's like completely unacceptable. So if you've done that, then it's just a sit down with the player. This is what you've done. We are parting ways as of this moment. It's unacceptable. See you later.
Fair enough. All right. So as you said before, all directors ain't the same. So what makes you different from the other directors of women's football?
I'm a vibe. No, I'm joking.
A vibe.
No, make me different, I would say. Probably, I might not be that different, but maybe culture. I'm quite big on culture. It's not just about like getting someone in who can do the job. I want a certain culture. I want us to enjoy it. And I'm also like, especially at Croydon, I'm really trying to like be one of the first that's got a big like ethnic minority push.
Okay.
So I think all of my staff are black. All 5 of them. Yeah, and that's not me like I don't want any other race. Do you know what I mean? Like, of course, I'm open to it, but like I think it's more that we've got to appreciate the fact that like black coaches, black physios, opportunities are not open for them. I mean, there's plenty of black coaches out here, but yet majority of the footballing world is white. Do you know what I mean? So let's just have it as it is. Basically, that's the case. So I'm really, really trying my best to like bring like the ethnic minorities through if I can. I just want a diverse club. Do you know what I mean? Like I want white, Asian, Chinese, Indian, black. Like, do you know what I mean? I want it to actually represent like what the world really looks like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Rather than this like facade that like only like a 50-year-old white man can do this job. Do you know what I mean? Like that's not the case. So I actually want to see like the ethnic minority succeed and be in senior successful positions. That's probably what I would say like might separate me from others, is that it's not just about like working in football or getting women to play football. It's about like trying to shake up the footballing world.
Cool. All right. Last 2 in this block. How are the relationships between you and the other directors? When I ask that, I mean, you know, like I think players take on a little bit of the fans' rivalry. Do the rest of the club do the same, or is it, nah, man, this business?
Yeah, I mean, I would say like at Croydon, like I said, it's a very, very unique setup at Croydon because the like the CEO basically and the chairman is Danny Young and the CEO is a guy called Jordan. Now Jordan is friends with Wilfred, Zaha and Stormzy. Those 2 I grew up with as well, and Jordan I grew up with. So it's basically like working for your friend.
Okay.
Which is sick. Do you know what I mean? As long as you get it right, because sometimes that personal can't mix with business. But I would say like with Jordan, working for Jordan is sick because it's like Jordan just lets you do your job. Like he's not pressing you. He's not like managing, like micromanaging me or it's 3 o'clock. What have you done today?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like he's not really like that. As long as like the job is done, he doesn't care when you've done it, how long it took you to do it. Like it doesn't matter. The job is done.
Done right. Yeah.
And it's done right. Yeah. So it's like I suppose like at Croydon, the relationships really, really good. Do you know what I mean? Like it's really positive. The culture is really good. I don't really have a bad word to say, like, because it's same like Danny Young is brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Like they're just very, very down to earth, like normal people. It's nice to work for normal people. Do you know what I mean? They're just normal. So I think like, yeah, of course, like I think there's a bit of like togetherness, I suppose. It's like even if like you don't really know that person, like I've never actually had a conversation with Jermaine McGlashan, let's say, who's the first team manager at the men's side, but like we both know who each other are. We both know that we're doing well. We see each other. It's like a little nod. Do you know what I mean? Like a you're right kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it's like there's no disrespect. Like we're all here for the same project. Do you know what I mean? And we all want the project to do well. So it's very like respectful and you know, like I've been to the first team games, and I'm hoping that we can have all like an academy awards together. And if they get playoffs and they get promoted, and the under 18s are going to win their league, and the women are going to win their league, like it's just going to be great at the end of the season.
Cool. Is it the same for directors of other clubs? As in, not the same, not the same vibe, but as in, is it? That's what I meant by, you know, the players and the fans would have a rivalry against the opposition. Does the upstairs of a club is it the same thing, you versus another club, or is it nah, man? We both directors, talk with respect. Is there a rivalry there?
Yeah, I know what you mean now. I definitely think at CEO and chairman level, I think there's definitely a camaraderie at that level. I think like, let's say like if I was to go and apply for another club, the chances are is the chairman of that club's phoning Danny.
Same, right?
Do you know what I mean? So I reckon that like CEOs and chairmans and owners of clubs definitely like speak to each other. Directors of football might not.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? They don't speak as much because I think obviously the way that you want your club to run, you want your club to run like that.
Right.
So you might not necessarily give away your little nuggets and your little secrets. You might keep a little bit to yourself. So, and to be honest,
cool. Be like cordial.
Football,
cool. Hello.
Yeah. This is it. And they're quite rare to come across, like in terms of directors of footballs, because not every club has one.
Okay.
So, like, not every single club has a sporting director. So it's quite hard to come across them, really.
Fair enough. Nice. All right. Last one in this block is, what are your top 3 tips for aspiring female leaders such as yourself?
Oh, top tips, I would say, be yourself. Unapologetically be yourself. Don't compromise your morals and values. I think everything else can be worked through and worked on, but your morals and values do not move on that. That's the one thing I think you stay firm on. If it's starting to feel morally wrong, then it's a no. And I would probably say, maybe as a last tip, like, be prepared to stand up for yourself. So I mean, like, don't be scared to stand up for yourself. Like, no matter what the risk is. Like, I watched there's a Netflix series called The Coach's Playbook, I think it's called. And I watched an episode of that of Serena Williams' coach.
Okay.
And he was talking about.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I haven't watched it myself.
Have you seen it? Yeah. It's really good. And he's talking about don't be scared to lose your job, which obviously sounds risky, but in the world of football, like, get sacked every day. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, don't be scared, to stand up on your morals. And if you lose your job for standing on your morals, that's the best way to lose it.
Yeah. Full. I like that. Excellent. All right, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back and play Start, Bench, Sell, and Would You Rather Part 2, little half.
Okay, cool.
Moment is a victory. Welcome to Grassroots Gazette, from the ground up, where football's journey begins.
All right, here we go. So the first half of this is Start, Bench, Sell. Let's see how we do. Joe Cole, Carrick, and Defoe. Start, Bench, Sell.
Joe Cole, Carrick, and Defoe.
Yeah.
Defoe starts. Joe Cole. I'm a West Ham fan.
Yeah, this is more of your.
So this is hard.
The academy, innit?
I'm gonna.
Skipping.
I think I'm gonna start Defoe. I'm gonna bench Carrick. And I'm gonna sell Joe Cole.
All right. Okay, we're on a roll. Here we go. Anton Ferdinand, Mark Noble, Declan Rice. Yeah, all right, so we got Anton Ferdinand, Mark Noble, Declan Rice.
Oh my good lord.
Yeah.
Okay, Declan Rice starts. The first one?
You got Anton Ferdinand and Mark Noble.
Jesus Christ. Okay, Declan Rice starts.
Yeah.
I think Mark Noble has to be on the bench, and I got to sell Anton Ferdinand.
All right, cool. Here we go. WSL got Alicia Lehman and I can't even pronounce her first name. And Shaw from City.
Yeah.
And Chloe Kelly. Start bench sell.
Is it Alicia?
Yeah, Alicia Lehman.
Alicia's gonna start. Shaw though. No, Shaw's got to start.
She's been cooked.
Alicia's going on the bench.
And then selling Kelly.
Selling Kelly, yeah.
All right, there we go. Back to West Ham. Antonio, Ings, or Bowen?
Bowen's got to start. Antonio goes on the bench, and Ings can get sold.
Yeah. Oh, back to WSL. Katie McCabe, Millie Bright, Lauren James.
Oh my good God.
Yeah.
Millie Bright's got to start. Lauren James goes on the bench, and who's the first one again?
Katie McCabe.
Katie McCabe's got to be sold.
All right. Next up, got Watkins, Nicholas Jackson, and Rashford. Prem.
Hey. Ollie Watkins.
Yeah.
Ollie Watkins. Who is it? Ollie Watkins, Jackson, and Rashford. I think Jackson's got to start.
Nicholas Jackson starts.
Yeah, I think Jackson's got to start. Watkins goes on the bench, and I think I'm going to sell Rashford, you know.
Saying okay. All right, here we go. Last start bench sell. Berger, Becky Spencer, or Mary Earps. Goalkeepers.
Who's the first one?
Berger, Liverpool, if I think.
Earps has got to start. Who's the middle one again?
Becky Spencer.
Becky
Tottenham.
Spencer goes on the bench.
And Berger's out of here.
Yeah, she's got to get sold.
All right, here we go. We're going straight into the Would You Rather Part 2. So, sell a good player for cheap or lose them for free? Miss Director.
No, I think sell them for cheap.
For cheap, yeah, as much as you can, basically.
Yeah, you got to get some. You got to get something.
What if that getting something was winning the league? That's why you're keeping them, and then they get to go for free. Is that a thing? No.
Yeah, then they would stay. No, then they would stay. Yeah, then they would stay. Yeah.
All right, cool. Number 10 is support a manager who drops your best player or step in and solve the problem.
Step in and solve the problem. Yeah.
The problem. All right.
Yeah.
For the referees, add the blue card or keep what we've got, yellow and red.
Keep what we've got. Get that stupid blue card out of here.
Everyone asks that same thing.
Ridiculous ever suggestions. It's so dumb.
All right. Sack the manager or help him rebuild. Or her.
What's the problem though? That's what the problem is. Some man just need to go. So, in most circumstances, I would say help them rebuild. In most circumstances.
Okay, cool. All right. My next one. Here we go. Your team is being abused. You make them play through it or tell them to walk off.
Walk off. All day. Yeah.
Nice. All right. New money comes into the club. Do you give it to your staff and your players, or do you pull it back into the club, i.e. new training ground?
Ooh.
Or something else, like new dressing rooms, whatever you need?
Do you know what I think I'd probably do? If I was to be truly honest, I would probably have a sit down with the staff and players and we would have a vote.
Okay, nice.
That's probably what I would do. So I'd sit down with everyone and say, okay, this is the amount of money. Are you happy for us to invest here or invest into you guys? And see what the general consensus is.
Cool. And then you go with that.
I'd go with the majority, yeah.
Cool. What if it's a tie?
Oh, and I've got to make a final decision.
Yeah. So then we're back to it.
Yeah. Then I'd probably go staff and players then.
Cool. Staff and players. All right. Last two. Sign the best player or make the best players. Sorry, make them.
Make the best players.
Make
Yeah.
the best players. Lovely. All right. Last one. Grassroots level. Yeah. Would you rather the ref have a full team, so ref and assistants, or better pitches?
Ref and assistants.
Ref and assistants. Yeah, because I've been hearing that it's just the ref by themselves, really.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, officiating can actually cost games, but when it comes to better pitches, it's like you're both playing on it. Do you know what I mean? Both of you are on this bad pitch, whereas bad officiating can actually like ruin everything.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, that's the end of that one. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about Tower Hamlets' first team coach.
Heart of the game. Join us on Grassroots Gazette, from the ground up, where football thrives.
Okay, we've got 11 questions in this block. First one is, how long have you been a coach for Tower Hamlets men's team?
Just this season.
Just this season.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Team building in this one again. How important is it? And what is your favorite team building activity for your team?
Well, I mean, the team being together is like it's a 12th man, isn't it? So like, I think sometimes like I've managed games, not at Tower Hamlets, but even like I was at the Wall, let's say, like when I've managed games there, like the team that we're playing against might actually be on paper better than us, but the togetherness won us that game. Right. So, and I think a lot of Sunday teams can vouch for that togetherness wins you stuff. So yeah, I would say the team building is really, really important. And I think at Tower Hamlets, we actually struggled with that. Like we struggled with the togetherness because the team, when I first came in, we had like a team night out. There was like 5 of us.
Damn.
Yeah, so it was like, and the turnover of players was really high. So the changing room was dead like for ages. So it was like, it was really hard actually like to get the team going, and we didn't train. So because we didn't train, it's like we could go weeks without seeing each other.
Wow. Yeah, that ain't gonna help.
Yeah, so it's hard. Yeah, it's really like team building is so important, isn't it? And we really struggled with that. So
what's your favorite team building activity? The guy in the pub?
Well, do you know what actually, yeah? When I was at Millwall as a player, they had that, in pre-season where you have these like, what are they called? They're like floats, basically, and you put like water on the pitch.
Yeah.
And you slide with the float, basically, like a race.
Yeah.
Sick. Yeah, so like that kind of stuff, like just like fun pre-season stuff, or like escape rooms is good, like problem solving together. To be honest with you, I think obviously for those that drink, alcohol will bring people together. Like, do you know what I mean? Because
cut the vibe.
Everyone like loosens up after a drink. But like if you're not a drinker, let's say, then I think just generally like sometimes just a night out, like at Dulwich, like we done a karaoke. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes just like things that you can all do together, basically, even if it's just something that embarrasses people, like whatever. Anything. It all helps. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Who is your captain, and why did you pick them? If you pick them, did you pick them?
I didn't pick him, but he's right to be picked, basically. So we had it was normally between Junior Baker and Simon Peddy. They were usually the captains. They're the seniors, basically. Okay. So they've been around the longest. They're the older ones. So they know the game. Do you know what I mean? Very talkative as well, very vocal, good leaders. And they just control their unit. They just know what they're doing, basically. Like as a captain, they know what they're doing. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Next question is, where did the team finish last season, and are you further along this season?
Not really, but I think last season we finished like 14th or something, but there were like 4 less teams in the league, or like 3 less teams in the league. So let's say we finished 15th out of like 19th.
Yeah.
Or 14th out of 19th, let's say. Whereas this season we finished 15th out of 22.
Okay. All right.
So if that makes sense. So it's like numerically it's the same position, but there's more teams in the league this year than there was
last year.
Yeah, but we still didn't do that great, basically.
Is the season over? How many
The
games
season's
left?
over.
Oh, it's
42 games done.
See. All right, cool. What is Tower Hamlet's style of play?
Oh God. Well, so I mean, like we've really tried. Like, yeah, this season's
We
been tough,
try.
can you tell? Yeah, like we've tried, man. Like we've really tried, like to play football. Like we want to try and play. We've got players that can play, but we've also got like some naive, like inexperienced players,
See, okay.
which means that we've kind of like we've had to turn it, we've had to put it in the channels, we've had to like go long. I suppose that with our strength, let's say one of our biggest strengths is our number 9, Connor French, just absolutely unreal. So because he's so good at holding up the ball, like a lot of our identity comes around playing off of him.
Right.
So it's like, can we get the ball to him, ideally to his feet? Do you know what I mean? So can we get the ball to his feet and kind of play in and around him? Because he's our target man, basically.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it's been tough.
Fuck it, man. It's been tough. Fair enough.
Subject,
Don't worry.
yeah.
You get it. All right. Number 6. Do you have any pre-game rituals or superstitions as a player or coach? Did you have any as a player?
Yeah, as a player, I don't know if they're really superstitions, but I just used to do things in a certain order.
Right.
So I would, I wouldn't put my shin pads on until right before kickoff.
Okay, yeah, I think we can include that.
Yeah, I would never warm up in my shirt.
Okay.
I would always like have like whether it's Skins, Under Armour, like whatever I'm wearing underneath, and like a training jumper. I would never put my shirt on until right before I'm about to kick off. Trying to think, shin pads I didn't put on, shirt I didn't put on, and I used to always like drink and eat the same stuff. I would never like deviate away from what I've ever. It would always be Lucozade Sport.
Right.
I would never drink water, hardly ever. That was like, unless it's like 30 degrees outside, basically.
Yeah.
And I would, and if I've eaten, I'm not eating any more than a slice of toast.
Okay. How did they develop? Did they come off a win? You was like, all right, I'm doing all that again, or was it something you just did?
I think it just becomes like habit. It's just like routine. It's like when you're playing week in and week out, you end up doing the same stuff. So like when I was younger, like my dad used to do a lot of stuff for me. He would like clean my boots for me and stuff. So like my boots would always be ready for me to pack in my bag, or there was always just stuff. And then as I got a little bit older, I just started to notice things that I was comfortable with. So I didn't like warming up with my shin pads on. I didn't like warming up with my shirt on. And then my shirt's already nasty and sweaty and I haven't even played yet.
Yeah, I hear you.
So it's like stuff like that I just got comfortable with. And then I realized like, okay, Sean, you don't actually like warming up with your shin pads on.
Yeah.
So then I just didn't. Do you know what I mean? And then it just became a routine, basically. And then it was like, if I had a manager that used to make me wear my shin pads, I used to be like, I don't like this. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm out of routine. So it was like, and then you do get superstitious. Then you realize, we lost today.
Because I didn't have
it's, I mean, it's stupid because you know that's not why, but that's just how you feel at the time.
Yeah, definitely. All right, cool. Next question. Tell me about when you found out you was going to be coach of Tower Hamlets. Like, did you ask them? Did they ask you? Or was there like an official hiring process?
No, with Tower Hamlets, they asked me. So the guy that is the manager, we'd met on like a previous podcast, actually, funnily enough. I interviewed him on a previous podcast. That's how we met. We kind of met on Twitter, like during lockdown. And then we kind of just stayed in touch, I guess, like from then. And then during the season before he asked me, I was at the Wall.
Right.
Now, obviously, being at the Wall was like, that kind of brought a lot of eyes onto me because I was a female coach in Sunday League and obviously it's all over YouTube and stuff. So, and we did really well. So I think that was kind of like the eyes were kind of on me at the time. And then he basically called me in the summer. But the conversation was so brief. It was just like, Sean, what are you doing on Saturdays? Not much. And I've literally just had my son. So it was like, what are you doing on Saturdays? I'm not really doing anything right now. My son's 6 months old. So I was like, not much. He was like, do you want to help us out at Tower Hamlets? I was like, yeah, cool. I hadn't completed a season in non-league, like at like men's football. So he was like, do you want to come and help us out? I said yes to helping out. So I said yes, I would help out. Next thing you know, I'm in a group chat with all the rest of the staff, and it's on Twitter. Sean Fitzpatrick, employed at Tower
The
Hamlets.
team, yeah.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh, okay, like, I'm here now. And then that was it. And I just committed basically from then.
Cool. That's cool. Them ones.
Yeah,
All right.
roped in basically.
Tell me about your best day to date as a Tower Hamlets coach.
Ooh, because we've had a lot of down days.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd probably say like day. Oh God, that's really, really hard. Okay, I'd probably say one of the better days I've had, 'cause it's been a very like rocky season.
Lovely.
One of the better days I've had is, like I said, we don't train basically, like we've hardly trained. But there was a session where I was working with a player called Solly. I kind of like player cammed him basically. So I just stayed with him like through the whole session, where he should move, like when the ball's over there, like come into this space or run into here, run out. Do you know what I mean? I basically done like a 1-to-1 session with him within the session.
Yeah.
So because it was like he's good, but he just needed like polishing, basically needed some help in terms of like his movement and decisions that he makes and stuff. So anyway, like the following game, I can't actually remember like how many goals he scored, but I definitely knew he went on to have like a scoring streak, let's say. So I remember like the first game coming back and he scored, and it was like that feeling of like, I done this.
Yeah.
I mean, like I helped him and he's achieved it and it's done. So it's like those moments. Remember, I'm not the manager, I'm not the assistant manager, I'm just a coach.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm there to coach. So when you see like your coaching actually like
come to
pay off, it's like, it's a good day for a coach anyway. Do you know what I mean? Regardless of the result, it's a good day.
Definitely. I hear that. All right. Who, in your opinion, is the best coach at Tower Hamlets? And yes, you can say yourself.
No, I'm gonna say no though. No. The best coach is not at Tower Hamlets. No, it's not at Tower Hamlets. I'm gonna say no. It's not me. Like especially like if we're talking non-league, and some of the coaches that like I've met in non-league, like I would feel like I can't even lace their boots.
Same.
So I mean, like that's how good they are. Yeah, that I couldn't even lace their boots. I know I mentioned him earlier, but like Craig Nelson,
salute.
Pitsy at Glebe. Well, he was at Glebe, and they just let him go. Bad decision, but anyway, they've let him go. But he is like, I could not lace Craig's boots. Do you know what I mean? Like he's so good. I worked with him at Tooting Beck, learned so much from him. He's like absolutely unreal. Like if I was up against Pitts in a dugout, no smoke that day. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is gonna be a tough ride. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, we've got 2 more left in this block. What are your goals for next season for your team and yourself as their coach?
I'm not staying in Tower Hamlets. I'm not staying.
Yeah, you came to help out for real.
Yeah, I'm not staying. But the reason why I'm not staying is because Croydon have offered me academy manager full-time, basically. Okay. So that's why I'm not staying, because I've got a full-time job next year with the boys youth section. So that's why I'm not staying. They haven't done anything to me. I've got a full-time job. Yeah.
All right, cool. Last question is, if I was to come and watch Tower Hamlets game, can you give me 2 to 3 players to keep an eye out for when I'm watching?
Connor French. I'm gonna say Kiernan Hughes Mason, and Naz Crespo. Yeah.
Lovely. All right, we're gonna take a little break, and then we're gonna come back and talk about the podcast.
Passion meets the pitch. This is Grassroots Gazette, from the ground up, uncovering football's true spirit.
Yeah, I wanted to make some room for this, so let's get this in. First question, there's only about 9 questions in here, so social podcast, that's the name, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Who is your co-host, and has it always been you two?
My co-host is Danny Bassett. No, it hasn't always been us. So it was Ryan Locke used to host it.
Okay.
With the guy that runs the whole of Your Fresh, basically. But the guy that runs the whole of Your Fresh is not. He doesn't want to be in front of the camera. He'd rather be behind it. So I then came on board with Ryan Locke, and then Ryan stepped away, and then we got in Danny Bassett. So now it's me and Bass.
See, how long have you two been doing that? Since?
Ooh, it's got to be a couple of years now, I think.
Same.
It's got to be a couple of years. I think me and Bass have done it together for now.
Lovely. Okay, I think that was my next question. Yeah, how long have you been doing podcasts? Oh, no, I was going to ask, why did you start it? But you didn't start it. That's what you just said.
No, I didn't. No. Yeah, Your Fresh isn't mine. I didn't start it. The guy that does do Your Fresh, he's an incredible human being. But yeah, no, I didn't start it. I ended up doing podcasts by accident, basically. So it wasn't anything that I wanted to do. It wasn't a part of the plan, like, at all. I actually came on to Your Fresh as an interviewee, basically.
Okay.
So like similar to this, basically.
See,
So like
right.
they interviewed me, and then after that interview, the guy that runs Your Fresh pulled me aside, basically, and was like, "You're really good for camera." So he was just like, "You're like you're quite good at this," basically. And he was like, "I think you should probably host." So I was like, I wasn't really sure, and then I thought, all right, do you know what? I'm the kind of person that will just give stuff a go sometimes.
Go, yeah,
so
you
I
know
was
what I
like,
mean?
yeah, all right, cool, I'll just give it a go. So then I gave it a go, and then I kind of just got good at it, basically. So I was like, yeah, cool, like I'll just stick it out, and then I've just been there ever since, basically.
I like that. All right. Do you have a favorite episode, like one for a new viewer, like for someone to be seeing this now? Is there an episode that you'd like, go watch that? Go watch that.
There's a couple good ones still. The referees one.
Scene. Is it referees you're talking to, or the topics about referees?
We're talking to refs.
Oh, scene. Okay.
Yeah. So there's two referees on there. Another guy called Michael Campbell and Bass, who Bass wasn't hosting at the time. Again, he was an interviewee. That one's quite good. And there's been a few good ones, the Sean Scanner one.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, the Sean Scanner one. Yeah, that one's good. And maybe there is one where we're speaking to, but maybe that's just a personal favorite, because I think that one's quite funny.
Go on.
So there's one where we're talking about like grassroots, like Sunday League, basically. Mike's Hill, Matty Warren, and Jordan and Javan are on there. That one's just quite funny, basically. I think it's just jokes to watch, basically.
All right, cool. About the topics, is it about football as a whole, or is it just about the pros? But you just answered that because you did a
it's football as a whole. It's
everything.
To be honest, it's mainly grassroots. It's like non-league and Sunday League. Your Fresh does have like other spin-off podcasts, let's say, where I've got another one with another few like set of guys where we're talking about the Prem.
Right.
But it's mainly the social one is mainly grassroots and non-league.
Lovely. All right. If you could give me two guests that you would love to have on the podcast, give me one famous and one non-famous, i.e. like a grassroots player or coach.
One famous.
Yeah.
That I would want to have on the podcast.
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho.
Boom.
Yeah, what a character. Yeah.
Good interview.
It's going to get some views, to tell you that for free.
For real.
So I would say Jose Mourinho, and non-league. This is going to sound mad, yeah?
Okay.
But I think I would want to interview someone who's done something mad. So that we can try and like
cut through it and get the reasons.
Mad thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't.
Non-famous one, guest.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of someone who's done something for me to be like. I would.
So you'd be like,
why you done that?
Like Eric Cantona kicking the fan and all that kind of. You want that type of interview?
Someone who's done something, and you think, why? Like, do you know what I'd want to interview? Like, I'm just using this as an example now, yeah. But let's say like the other day there was like a big like hoo-ha like on Twitter because Walton and Hersham's board sacked their manager, and their manager had just won them back-to-back titles.
Seeing, okay.
So someone like that, yeah, where like I'd want to sit down with the board members and be like, I just want to know like what your thought process behind this madness that you've just done, basically. So something like that. Do you know what I mean?
See, yeah, no, I get you. All right, number 7 is, how has the feedback been for you and your work on the podcast? How has the feedback been?
It's mostly positive.
Nice.
It's mostly positive. Like most of it is good, but there's always going to get like some unpopular opinion. Do you know what I mean? Someone's always going to like disagree with something that you say. But like, I was even at a football club the other day at one of Tower Hamlets games, and there was a man in the bar, like behind the bar, basically, that was like openly disagreeing with something that I'd said.
Okay.
Like somewhere,
not to you, just openly saying it.
He was telling me like, he was like, you shouldn't have said that, or like whatever it was, basically. I can't remember, but to be honest with you, like, first of all, at least he had a bit about him to actually tell me to my face.
There you go.
And secondly is that if anyone's going to disagree with anything I've got to say, it's normally like a gentle disagreement, if that makes sense. As in, like, I don't mind. Not everyone's going to agree with what I have to say. Yeah. So somebody might say to me, oh, you know, like, well, I think this based on the opinion of what you said. I don't mind like an open discussion.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so the feedback has been good, yeah, in general.
Yeah, overall, like, it's been quite good. You know what I mean? A lot of people have said like they think that me and Bass work well together. And to be honest, it's not really about us when it comes to the social podcast. It's more about like who we're interviewing. So people more comment on them, do you know what I mean, rather than like on us, basically. It's not really about us, it's about them.
Yeah, no, I hear that. All right. When do you record and when do episodes drop? Is it a weekly thing, a monthly thing?
No, it's actually quite ad hoc, to be honest. So like we normally record on a Friday evening.
Okay.
So we book a studio and we'll like go there on a Friday. But it's normally like, it's really guest dependent.
Okay.
So we might decide, okay, so like we want to interview this person, but they might not be available for another 6 weeks time.
Right.
So we might just wait.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Until like they're available. Like the next person that we want to come on, we're in talks like with them in terms of like when they can come on and stuff. But because like I said, the guy that runs Your Fresh, he's spinning a lot of plates, so he's like out doing a lot of stuff. So we've got to try and narrow down like a good time for us to like film and get the right guest on. We don't just bring people on like for bringing them on sake, basically. Yeah, it's more about like, we want this specific type of opinion or this view or this story to be told or whatever. So it's very like ad hoc, literally.
I hear that. All right. I think I kind of got the answer for this one already, but let me ask it anyway. So where do you see yourself and the pod going? Meaning podcasts are blowing up all over the place these days. Could you see yourself doing this as a full-time job if the money matched your other jobs?
Wow, what a question. Oh, would I do this? Do you know what? Probably not. No, I think for me to go into podcasting like full time or be a host like full time, I think the money would have to be more than what I'm on now. Because really, like, I like coaching, I like being on the grass. I think if you're podcasting full time, how do you stay in and around it? Do you know what I mean? So you'd have to be, I'm gonna lose like what I actually want to do. Do you know what I mean? Which is to like be in and amongst players and coaching them and learning and whatever. So I don't think, and it's more something that I fell into rather than something that like I'd want to do. So let's say, for example, not every podcast channel or like platform or whatever could call me and say, do you want to be a host?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because I don't. I'm doing it because I like this project and I like this platform and this person. Mm-hmm. So it's not, I wouldn't just like, not anybody can ring me and be like, oh yeah, here's 70 grand. We want you to be a podcast host. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not like, maybe for 70k, but it's not something that like, I actually want to do. Do you know what I mean? I'm just invested into this project and this platform.
Fair enough. All right. Last question in this block is, what other podcasts do you enjoy watching when you have
that's football related?
Any. It could be football related. What podcast do you be watching?
I like watching what's it called? The Roy Keane and Gary Neville and
Is it
Jamie Carragher.
the overlap thing?
Yeah, I like watching the overlap. That's good. Football podcasts. Yeah, because a lot of these podcasts, man. Sometimes I just think, what are we talking about? Or unless there's somebody specific, as in like I want to watch their interview.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So let's say like Antonio was on The Judy. Do you know what I mean? So I watched that podcast because I'm a West Ham fan and I wanted to hear about Antonio's story.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I watched that one, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I would watch all of the episodes. But then I watch like half-cast podcast. I mean, that's not football related. That's just, I think that's funny.
Scene, okay. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, any other podcast, whatever you're watching. Yeah. All right. Cool. Lovely. All right. That was the last one there. We're going to go into our last block, which is inside the player's mind. So they take you back when you was a player.
For grassroots footballers that allows players to track their performance, improve their game and compete with others in the community.
Galacticos app. Download today. Please check out galacticos.com for more developments. Don't forget to network with us. Help us grow.
All right, so we got 11 in here. Here we go. First one. What was or is your greatest strength as a player? Should I be using was? Because you don't play no more.
I don't play no more, yeah.
All right, was. Okay. What was your greatest strength as a player?
Pace.
Okay.
That was at my USP. Yeah, I was really quick.
Nice. What was your greatest weakness as a player?
Maybe height.
Shorty.
Yeah, maybe height, because I'm only 5'3", so maybe height.
Okay, here we go. Give me 3 words that you would use to describe yourself.
As a player?
Yeah.
Quick. Tenacious. And I'm tossing up between maybe either smart or brave.
Either smart or brave. All right, we'll leave that one in the air.
Yeah.
Cool. As in brave to go into a tackle.
Yeah.
See. All right, cool. Or up for a header, even though you're short. Cool. All right. What got you most excited about playing football?
I think probably just like I'm really competitive. Do you know what I mean? So I just like the competition. Like whether it's like match day, whether it's like not getting beaten at training, do you know what I mean? Like whatever it was just like, even if we're doing like the box to box runs, like I didn't want to lose. Do you know what I mean? It was just like I'm just really competitive. So probably the competitiveness.
Cool. What got you unexcited about playing football?
Rain and wind. Bad English
wind, the bad elements.
Yeah.
All right, cool. When you are nowhere near a football pitch, what can you be found doing?
I'm nowhere near a football pitch.
Yeah.
I would be. I'm like, do you know what? Yeah, I'm probably like. Well, I suppose the obvious would be probably being a mum. That's probably the most obvious thing. I mean, so the obvious thing would be, I don't know, changing nappies, probably. Yeah, probably being a mum. That's what I'd probably say it's like number one. If I'm not doing that, that's what I'm doing. But other than that, I'm quite a social butterfly. So I'm normally like, let's say for example, like tonight, I don't have my son tonight, so I'm hosting a games night.
Okay, same.
Yeah.
Nice. One of them ones.
Yeah.
Butterfly, yeah. I know your type.
Yeah. Social butterfly, yeah.
All right, cool. Next question is, what is the best compliment you got while playing football?
Best compliment? I don't know what foot you are.
Nice.
I don't know what foot you are. Yeah.
That's
couldn't work out which foot you are. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. All right. What is your favorite curse word? You don't have to say it. You can give me the letter.
As a player,
Yeah, as a player, what's your go-to reaction?
probably just F off. That was probably like, and anyone could get that at any point. Yeah, so probably
Anyone can get that.
I'll just F off.
Cool. What profession, other than the many hats that you already wear in football, would you like to attempt?
Wow.
All your jobs to the side, world's open. Politician, deep sea diver, anything.
Well, do you know what I wanted to do before I went into sports? Like, I actually studied law.
Okay.
Yeah, I studied law. So if there was something that I'd probably want to do, maybe like criminal lawyer or barrister, because that's actually what I wanted to do. So like outside of, if you're talking about away from a football pitch,
Yeah.
I love a murder documentary. I love it.
Me too.
I love a murder.
One of them things is mad. I
documentary.
like all them stuff there. They're crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
I just watched what Jennifer did on Netflix.
I was seeing. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, add that one to the watch list. It's good.
I like that. All right. We'll switch it. What profession wouldn't you like to attempt at all?
Ticket. What's it called? A ticket inspector, or like the ticket warden people.
You on the bus and train and that.
No, giving out parking tickets.
Oh, traffic warden. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that job stinks. No, thank you.
Traffic wardens. All right. Last question in this block is, what one change would you like to do in the football industry? Anything. And we change it today and tomorrow we move on. Anything.
God. Just one, yeah?
Just one thing, and you can change it. And it must be done.
Okay, this is probably going to be a selfish one, yeah? But give female footballers more money.
More money.
Yeah, and when I say that, I mean like maybe my rule might be if you are a football club and your club has a women's football team, there would be like a rule, let's say, where like they have to have a certain amount of money. Do you know what I mean? Whether, like, even if it's just a certain amount, like you have to give them every single year, they have to have 50 grand for the club.
Same. Okay, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying give them the same money. Let me make that clear. I'm not saying give them the same money. I'm just saying give them more money.
Give them more. All right. Yeah.
Some football clubs, their women's team don't have any money, so just give them some money. That's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. That is the end. That is the end of it. I normally leave a little time at the end for my guests to promote anything that they want to promote. So I'll take myself off the screen, and then you can say whatever you want to talk about for the next 2 minutes. Is there anything?
Let me think. How quickly does this come out?
This is coming out. Have I got another one drop? Yeah. Not next Tuesday, the Tuesday after. But there'll be mini clips dropping.
Right, not
next week.
The Tuesday after. Okay, that's going to be too late for me to promote the 5th of May. So I would probably say Oh.
No, you're good. You're good. I want to leave you to do it.
Maybe just in general, AFC Croydon, like get down, support, whether you come to a men's game, a women's game, an under 18s game. But if you're in and around South London or anywhere near Croydon, come down and support, please, by the end of the season, because somebody's going to win something. So it'll be good for you to come down and support any of the teams that are about to win by the end of the season.
Excellent. Thank you very much for coming through, Sean. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Learned a lot. I like that.
I like that.
I appreciate you, man. Take it easy.
No worries.
Hopefully we speak soon.
Yes, we will. Thank you.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Love that.
Grassroots Gazette. From the ground up. Remember,
The spirit of football lives within us all. Until next time, keep the passion alive and the dreams soaring. This has been Grassroots Gazette. From the ground up.